All right, so for those watching, we're going to talk to Katie today. She's going to give us a quick rundown on her experience inside of the Fit Frontliner program. So, Katie, give us an idea. What do you do for work? Where are you located at?
I live in Oklahoma City, and I'm actually a lieutenant on the police department. So I supervise a patrol unit that just is responding to 911 calls or doing proactive police work.
Nice. So, when you came in, where were you at with on the fitness side of things? Because obviously you do have a very busy, demanding job. So, what were you doing? Like, where was everything starting at before you worked with us?
So I was trying to do things to get fit, but it was just more sporadic and scattered because it just fell whenever I had open windows. I didn't really have like a disciplined plan. So I would end up going in these wings to one side where I would go work out or go to jujitsu classes or boxing like 5 or 6 days a week. And then I'd hit a week where I did nothing. So it was just very
Um,
much one end of the pendulum or the other. And I really didn't have a good idea of how to integrate rest days. When I was doing too much, I would get burned out or nearly injure myself. And then when I wasn't doing anything, obviously that wasn't really helping either. So
makes sense. Did you ever try any like apps, ebooks, like diet programs or anything like that before?
I tried some apps, but part of my problem was my schedule ran on 8 days of work overnight, and then I'd have 6 days
Mm,
off. So everything else was just catered toward Monday through Friday or 7 days a week stuff. So trying to figure that out within like a 2 week cycle, it just never quite clicked. And then I just needed accountability. So when I'm just doing an app, no one's looking at the app, or like
right.
I don't have the sense of someone else is like watching whether I'm actually doing what I'm supposed to, and that makes a big difference for me. So
Yeah. So I guess for you too, like obviously I know the accountability was one big part of it, but anything else that made you decide to work in a coaching program rather than keep doing what you were doing?
I felt like when you get an app, it's not really tailored to you and your life specifically, but there are so many different programs and apps that you can do. So without having someone looking from the outside in and say, hey, what's working for you specifically? And we can make adjustments on the fly that fit your lifestyle and your needs. That was what was missing with just doing like an app itself. Um,
Mm,
so part of the reason I wanted to join was just the overwhelm of information because I felt like when I tried to dig into making a plan for what I need to do, there was so much information. So much is hard to vet. Some of it's just like pop science and what you see on Instagram. So really trying to figure out what is scientifically going to function for you and not just, hey, this didn't work for a month, so let's try something new. And now you've tried 5 things in 5 months. Looking for better, clear cut direction.
okay, perfect. So like how'd you feel inside like while you're working? I know you were under Coach Christy, so I guess give everybody a quick idea like how was your experience like talking with her and like how her direction was for you specifically?
Hers was good. She had some experience working with people with crazy schedules, so I appreciated that. We also both have an orange cat. So goofy as it was, I enjoyed some of the workout videos she'd send for form would actually have the
Hmm.
cat just snooping around. And she's a vet tech and loves animals, so it's fun to have the connection of some fun, similar interests too. But she was a really good mix of encouraging, but she'd point out a lot of things. Again, like just things that are blind spots you don't think about. And maybe your macros and everything are hitting pretty close, but she's like, girl, you got to eat a vegetable. Like, it can't all just be like meats and carbs. Got to get some greens in there too. But it really she hit a really good balance of telling you exactly what you need to hear, but not being where you don't want to open the app or someone's super harsh about it too. So she was really encouraging at some times when I wasn't necessarily seeing progress. So shout
Yeah.
out to Christy. She did a good job.
That's awesome. That's a big part of like the coaching styles and also figuring out what's works for you guys at the end of the day. Some people like to get yelled at, some people don't.
Right.
Um so we try our best. So with you, because like just talk about like any transformations you saw, like body composition wise, anything like that to give people an idea as well.
So my biggest thing going into this, I'm 5 feet tall, so any of the weight doesn't have very far to go before it's really noticeable. My biggest thing looking at my parents and their weight distribution and mine was just trying to get rid of visceral fat or that body fat around your stomach area. So
Hmm.
that was my biggest goal. I didn't care so much about what the scale said necessarily. Um,
Hmm.
and again, if I can take that and turn it into muscle, cool. If the scale stays the same and it's just body composition difference, and that's pretty much what happened. The biggest difference that I saw some initial weight loss, and then the scale number plateaued some, but there were definite like body composition changes, and I never would have noticed that myself had I not actually had to track those pictures.
That's always where people get most discouraged too. So it's everyone's nobody likes taking their pictures, but we always go,
Right.
hey, like it's going to be a huge game changer for if and when the scale doesn't move because you can still be dropping that fat. And I was just talking about this earlier with you. We work with a lot of first responders and military, and you guys have a lot of muscle. So sometimes you won't see the scale move as quickly. Like we want to maintain as much as possible. And you guys carry a lot of gear at the same time too. So making sure you guys can see like the physical changes. Did you see it in like your uniform pants or anything too? Like that drop?
Biggest difference is definitely the way your pants fit in particular.
That's awesome. So, how'd you feel about value inside with the program? Obviously, having Christy in your corner, and I know we give you a lot of information that way moving forward. You guys have everything you need, but how'd you feel when you stepped in and you got the value inside?
I felt good about it. Like before I did the initial call, I was thinking the price would be about half of what it was. I already had committed in my head that I was going to try something and stick with it. So,
Okay.
but it's all encompassing, but it's as much as you put into it. So there were some times I maybe didn't get the full value out of it because I didn't ask questions as early, or I didn't say
Mm,
something about like, hey, I need this workout to change, or hey, my whole schedule's about to be flipped on its head. Can you help me adjust for that? When really, Christy for me was there the whole time and pretty responsive whenever I would just want to swap out one exercise for another or change the entire thing entirely. So it's hard to find anything else even looking forward, trying to track the same amount of stuff that you do, because trying to have
mm-hmm.
your hydration, your nutrition, your workouts, your movement all in one spot, along with pictures and just the ability to track everything you need to, I think definitely get your money's worth out of it. And then having an actual coach there. So every single time you want to know if your form is correct on an exercise, or if you're getting frustrated about something, just being able to voice it and put it out there, that's worth a lot. So to me, it
Mm-hmm.
was. And then I actually had checked with some other people around me who had used like in person gyms that have a nutrition plan and found out the price per month was probably about the same and they actually didn't
Mm-hmm.
offer quite as much help.
I warn people that all the time. I was like, I talk to people constantly that they're jumping in with in-person trainers and they're paying more per week, but they're seeing them less, and they're
Right.
not getting help outside of the gym. Where sometimes they're not even getting that much nutritional support. So with us, it's more flexible because how many times would you have missed an in-person coaching
Right.
session too? Because your schedule, I'm like, then you miss it and then you can't get to it. And it is. It's. I always tell people. Obviously, it's an investment for you guys, but we want to make sure moving forward, you guys have everything you need to. Like I know we even talked about that. Like you'll get the course material moving forward. We have a group that I put you guys into. So if you do have questions down the road, you guys aren't left on your own. In a way, you still have something to reach out and ask some questions. So, any like best piece of advice you would also like tell someone that might be on the fence about joining this program?
Just the general advice of if you are on the fence, I would say go ahead and do it. I don't think that unless you just completely ignore everything that they tell you to do, that you won't get out of it. Knowing it is so flexible because even the difference in an in-person trainer too is when you travel and you can't make appointments, or if you're always on the go, having like be subject to call out status, having that just basically in your pocket to access whenever you need to is very much worth it. So anybody on the fence, I can't think of someone who wouldn't benefit from this. So
Yeah.
if you find yourself in a circumstance where you do, I'll be shocked.
That's awesome. Well, it's always really important for us. We try our hardest. I know my team and I we put a lot of thought into like what we can do to make your lives easier when it comes to things and make sure things are flexible but also like moving in the right direction because it has to have that equal balance. We can't have too much of one versus the other because we still want to get you guys results at the end of the day. So making sure things are working and adjusting and like I mentioned too, like it's hard to find something that's going to blend in where things get super duper crazy. And if we can also teach you how to do this stuff moving forward, that'll be also like you can do this like learn from us for the rest of your life. So perfect. Well, thanks for one jumping in and trusting us with fitness journey. And if anyone does have any questions, feel free to reach out. You would talk to me or maybe a member of my team, but ultimately we want to make sure we're putting you in the right direction no matter what. And always try to get you on some consultation before so we can actually walk you through strategy and exactly what things would look like for you specifically. So thank you, Katie.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you.
Cool. And done. Good job.
All right.
Awesome. Well, you crushed it. Like I said too, like if you have any questions, you'll have that Facebook group. Feel free to use it. I always try to like encourage people to use it because we want to make sure like you guys don't feel like if you're not sure on something or maybe if something isn't working, like we can like give our